Hey guys, this is Justin.
And Joy. Welcome back to Justin and Joy Real Raw and Uncut.
We're super excited to be here again with you today. Today's topic or video is really just sharing with you guys a little bit about our background and how we have gotten to where we are today.
How we met.
Yep. Joy and I are getting ready to celebrate 15 years married here in the next 2 weeks.
December 3rd, 2005.
December what?
12/3/05.
12/3/05. December 3rd, 2005. And we got married. I had already had our oldest daughter, her name's Angelina.
Yep, and I had our oldest son. His name is Emilio. He was 1 at the time, and Angelina was 4.
Angelina was 4. I had just gotten custody of Angelina.
We met at work.
We
We were both telemarketers for a Cancer Fund of America.
And I was the supervisor, and Joy
Was a new employee looking for a job to work. My mom said, I'll help with Emilio, and why don't you go work? I said, okay. So I applied for this job in Dearborn, Michigan, and he walked in the room and stared at me with a big cheesy salesman smile. And I looked at him and I thought he was cute, but I wasn't going there to find anybody. I mean, I already told myself I'm not going to meet anybody.
Yeah, and for me, I had become a Christian at the age of 19, and after I had gotten custody of Angelina, I wasn't really looking to date. I was really looking for a wife, just because I had, a daughter. I was a single dad at a young age, and I didn't want to play, the dating game. I really wanted to, find a wife, and so we ended up, getting to know each other at work, and Joy obviously wanted to get to know me because she picked the desk.
I did. I actually did. I can honestly say that. I picked, because they said, okay, go walk around and pick your desk. And I picked the desk right behind him. He also walked to his desk and saw me walking towards him. So I think he wanted to show me where his desk was so I could sit near him. So anyways, I did sit behind him. So he would just stand up and he could talk to me right there.
Yeah, and she definitely picked the desk to sit behind me. And again, I wasn't really looking for a wife or a girlfriend. So me and Joy got to know each other and really became friends. And the thing that attracted me to her the most was that she was a Christian. And, that was important to me. Obviously, becoming a Christian, the importance of, finding somebody of faith to really understand your values and the things that you believe in. And we started to talk and got to know each other. Right. And it didn't take long for us to make the decision that we were going to get married.
Yeah, we had a lot of serious conversations about dating, and we both have a child, and we just didn't want to date, and I definitely wasn't wanting him to meet my son until I knew something was serious. And it's one of those things where you don't want to meet each other's family unless you know it's really serious. So we waited quite a few months. I mean, we got married in that year, so it was still quick.
I don't think it was.
To most people's minds, it's like, wait, you met in 2005 and you got married in 2005. So it was a pretty quick thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I don't think it was a couple of months until I met Emilio or you met Angelina.
Yeah. No.
We just, we were. The neat thing about it is I had made a commitment that the person that I was going to marry was going to be somebody that I could get to know on a more of an emotional, spiritual level, and not from an intimate level.
Right.
And so I had made a commitment that I was going to get to know Joy, and we didn't even kiss, and this is a true story, we didn't even kiss for 5 months.
Right.
It was 5 months before we ever had our first kiss, and we wanted to really just, save ourselves, and honor the relationship and make sure that it was based on really knowing that it was God that wanted us to be together versus being more of than, just like a sexual thing. And so what we did was when we got to know each other, I immediately knew that I wanted to get married. Joy wanted to get married. And I even went to her dad and did it the honorable way and asked her dad, if I could marry her. And, he wanted to make sure that I was going to not only take care of her, but also Emilio, because I was marrying also, in a sense, bringing Emilio into the family. We met in April and we were married in December. So 8 months, actually less than 8 months.
We planned our own wedding. We got our own rings. We got our own everything. We planned everything and did it all by ourselves. We didn't ask for help. We didn't go to our parents. We just said, if we're going to do this, let's just do it. And he got into the mortgage industry at that time, which was doing great, right? Starting to do great. And so he closed a couple deals, and we paid everything cash. We didn't get into any debt going into our marriage. We paid off everything with cash. We worked within our budget, so we had someone help us that donated her time to help us coordinate the whole wedding.
Yep.
And she was somebody from church, so we appreciated that. But
Yeah.
she helped us do everything in a budget. So we said, okay, we only have this much to
Yeah.
spend for food, for decorations, for everything, for gifts, everything. And we stuck with that, and we didn't go over.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful wedding, and as you see popping up on the screen right now is some pictures of our wedding. We were both really young and skinny, and but we had a great.
We were babies.
Yeah, we were babies, but we had a great wedding.
Yeah.
And God really showed up. We had a great service, and here we are today, 15 years later. And guys, the real raw and uncut is to really be real about the things that we've gone through and different experiences we've had. Even though we'll give an overview today of those things, there's going to be other videos where we kind of go in depth on those specific things. We'll be honest, guys, it's only by God's grace that we've even made it this far, because there were many times that she wanted to throw in the towel, I wanted to throw in the towel. Mm-hmm. There's many times I slept on the couch or at a buddy's house, especially early on.
Well, no, I used to go to Ohio.
Well, but that's I'm talking about in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
In the beginning,
okay,
yeah. It wasn't easy, right? You can see today that marriage and relationships, whether they're Christian based or not, it's unfortunate. The divorce rate is higher than 50%. And one of the things for me, coming from a broken home, where my parents divorced at a very young age, I wanted to make a commitment to God and also to Joy that divorce wasn't even an option, no matter how hard it got, no matter what we went through, no matter the experiences that we had, that I was committed 100%. Because I made that commitment to God,
right,
and to Joy, through sickness and health till death do us part, not just, a saying at, the altar, but a real commitment before God and before Joy. Mm-hmm. And so after we got married, we blended families, and if you're from a blended family, or you have a blended family, or if you've heard of a blended families are very difficult, because what you're doing is you're bringing two parents together and two different kids together, and you're trying to create a family
together, right? Especially when you're set in your own ways or your own things that you're used to doing.
Yeah.
So you have to really, it's a big challenge, and there's a lot of things that you give and take, and a lot of things we've learned. And so I think that was one of the hardest things we've gone through in our marriage, was learning to blend.
Yeah, it was very difficult.
Because you've got other in-laws or other parents involved, and so we luckily got through all of that. It's been a long road, but we've gone through it all, and God is good, and if you have Him in the center of your marriage, you realize you turn to God before turning to your mate and before turning to other things.
And for us, I know that it was very difficult for me when we first got married, because Joy would put a lot of attention on Emilio, because he was just 1 year old. Really, I think he had been 2 by the time we got married. Yeah. And that was difficult because I wanted her attention. And, it was very early on, it was very rocky. Trying to,
3 years, I think.
Well, first 3 years, trying to really figure out how to be married and have a family. But it wasn't too long after we had gotten married that Tiara was born. Mm-hmm. Tiara is our second oldest daughter. And what Tiara did, though, is she actually kind of made she was like the glue that made our family stick, because it was no longer Joy and Emilio and me and Angelina, it was us. That was a real blessing for us. And, we had gotten into the mortgage business, or I was already in the mortgage business, and so very early on, right after we got married, we bought a house.
I think, it was in that first year.
It was in the first year after we got married, we bought a house because we were renting a house. So we bought a house, we were really excited, and we started making some pretty good money. And so I went out and bought a new car, bought Joy a new car, and we didn't really have anybody teaching us or anybody teach us growing up how to manage our money.
Right.
And so we were very careless.
Yeah.
We were very careless with our money, and we did not really, save money. We weren't paying our taxes on time.
We were traveling. We
traveling,
were trips,
spending money, And so we had a buddy who was in the financial planning business, and I remember he told me, he says, Justin, I really feel like the mortgage business is going to collapse. You really need to prepare for it. And it was like a warning of wisdom, but I didn't really listen. Lo and behold, the mortgage business collapsed.
And was it 2 years after?
Yeah, really 2 years after. And we didn't, because we only owned the house for 2 years, I think. It wasn't a long time that we owned that house.
Yeah, it was, after 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, we literally went from 6 figures to no figures overnight, and lost both of our cars to repossession. Do you remember when they came and took your car? You want to share on that? When they came in with the truck and they took your car to the driveway and you called me and told me that they had taken it?
Oh, the Pacifica?
Yeah.
I do kind of remember that actually. Yeah, I think I did tell them. I called them and told them they were taking the car, and they had the repo company came and took it. Couldn't make the payments anymore, so we wrote it out until they said they were coming to get it, and so yeah, and then we were down to one car.
Then we were down to one car,
and we were at one point trying to hide it because we didn't want them to take it.
Yeah, because we only had that car, and so we didn't want the only car that we had to be taken. Then we ended up buying a used car, I think for like $500 or $1,000 or something.
The Durango?
No, the little silver Chevy. Remember the little...
Oh my gosh, right, I forgot about that. It was a Malibu.
Yeah, it was a Malibu. And Joy forgot to park the Malibu behind the Lincoln that we had. And I remember Joy called me like crying, like they just came and took your car. And I'm like, what? I mean, we knew it was...
Well, we knew. We were supposed to do the right thing and give it to them, right? But we were just...
Yeah, we knew it was going to happen at some point. They took our car. From there, guys, it just kind of went down. We ended up losing our house to foreclosure. And I know that was really tough, especially on you, Joy.
Yeah.
Here in the state of Michigan, they have a 6-month period of what we call, after the sheriff's sale takes place, a 6-month redemption period. And after the 6 months, then they come and...
They put a sticker on your door and literally say you have 24 hours to be out of the house. But you have 6 months to be out technically, so we had time to pack and all that. But for some reason, I really thought things were going to like change before those 6 months, and things were going to like shift and change. So I packed some things, but there was still a lot not packed. And I think Tiara was still like a baby.
She was.
So I was, running after the baby, taking the kids to school, doing all the home stuff, and Justin was out and about working still, trying to make things happen. So 6 months we had to be out of the house. We wrote it to the last day, and I really thought it was going to change, or they were going to say, hey, you have an extra 6 months, or you have a whole year or something. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. I was like in denial. I think that was the biggest thing. Was until that day they came knocking on the door. Justin was not home. He was working or somewhere. And then they put the sticker basically stating that they were going to take everything. They were evicting us, right?
Yeah.
So then within 24 hours they put a dumpster in your driveway, and whether you're there or not, they go in, they change the locks, and they just start putting everything in the dumpster. But from the time they put the sticker on the door until they put the dumpster, which was 24 hours after that, we were moving all night.
Yeah, we had found a rental home to move into down the street. I remember we didn't even have the money at the time to even pay for the moving company or even a moving truck.
No, not even a moving truck.
We couldn't even pay for a moving truck. So I had a buddy who had a Dodge Durango who said, hey, I can come over and help you, but not until like 10 o'clock at night. So he shows up, and we're like trying to move our whole house over, to this new house that we'd be renting. And I remember, Joy, you were under such stress that you couldn't even help us move, and what had happened.
So I broke out in hives. I didn't know what was going on. I started getting red dots all over my whole head, my whole body. And I thought I didn't know what was going on. And so I remember I need to go to the hospital. I was itching, like internally itching, like I was feeling like I had to itch my whole body every single minute of the day. Especially my head. Oh, I was scratching, yeah. So I was scratching my body like a major rash. And it was pain. I was nauseated. I was in pain, and then I was very itchy. And so that went on for a couple days, and then that day we had to move. I went to the hospital, and they gave me Benadryl, and they had me sit there for a while. And they said, you had a reaction, we're not sure what, but I left the hospital that night back home, and was finally a little relieved because I was no longer itching because they gave me medicine. But yeah, they said sometimes it can be stress that causes that, so it was pretty wild.
And so, we lost our home to foreclosure, we lost our cars to repossession, and then we had to file bankruptcy, and we ended up having to get on food stamps because we really couldn't even afford, to survive at that time. And I was, still working on building up the business, and then also doing that. But then also I went and started delivering pizzas at night, just to get us through Christmas that year. I worked during the day and then go deliver pizzas at night. And I remember, always having a vision and a desire to be successful, and always knew that we would be and that we were called to that. But, going through those hard times, I think, is when really you find out who you are and what you're made of. And so after we moved into that rental home,
we were there, I think, 6 months.
6 months.
We were there for only 6 months, and it was going into the holiday seasons, and that's when Justin's like, okay, I'm going to go deliver pizzas for Cottage Inn.
Yeah.
And so he did. He was delivering in Detroit.
Yeah, in Detroit, downtown Detroit.
Tips.
Yeah, I'd get some tips. And it was enough to get us through the holidays that year. But I think right after that, in February, we then couldn't pay our rent for the house, and so we actually got evicted. And after getting evicted, we had to move in with my mom and live with her for 6 months. We're grateful for that. However, it was a very humbling experience. I mean, it was me, Joy, and at the time we had 3 kids. Now we have 4, and we had to sleep on my mom's floor.
We were in her basement.
In her basement.
Yeah, we slept in her basement
for 6 months.
Yeah, the kids were upstairs, but we got rid of a lot of things, and then we put a lot of our stuff in storage. So
yeah,
I remember pulling up to your mom's house in the moving truck still, because we still had one more load to undo, and we were just so tired. And we were just like I was done moving. I was just tired. Let me just put it that way. I think I was just tired. We moved our entire house yet again. Yep. And you just get to the point where it's like, is this going to be the final place? Like, when is this going to end? It kind of felt like you're in a little bit of a nightmare. Like, when are you going to wake up from this nightmare? But it wasn't a nightmare. It was a blessing in disguise.
And so, man, I think we've been on the journey, and so I think we've lived in, how many houses in the last 15? 11. Not 11. 11 houses? No. We think here, we started in, let's see here. So, no, actually 7.
7. Okay.
7 homes in 15 years. We have had quite a journey. And so after living with my mom for 6 months, it gave us time to get the business that I was building in short sales and loan modifications off the ground. And Joy, you went and got a job.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I went to go work full time at Citibank in Ann Arbor. So I was, my sister got me in, actually, thank God. And I was working full time, like at 9 to 5, driving to Ann Arbor from Canton, which wasn't bad. So yeah, I was there for about 4 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I enjoyed it.
And after getting back on our feet.
Wait. This is a good part too.
Okay.
And during us living with his mom, you went on a missions trip, which was kind of crazy.
No, that was you going on a missions trip.
Oh, wait, that was me. Sorry.
I went on a
mom brain. So yeah, I went on a mission trip to the Philippines. And it kind of didn't make sense, right? Because you're like, okay, well, we just lost our house. We're living with family. We have no money. We're trying to save up. Like, how am I going to go on a mission trip? How is this going to happen? How does this make sense? But I put it out there, and then people were just giving me money for this mission trip, and then all of it got paid, including money to spend while you're there because you need money, but not much. But everything was covered. Me and my girlfriend, Kathy, we went on this mission trip in the Philippines, and it changed our life. And Justin was awesome husband and stood home with the kids while I was gone for 14 days, I think it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it was awesome. It was life-changing, but it didn't make sense. Financially, it didn't make sense, but God came through and provided every dollar I needed for this missions trip. And that was a huge thing. That was in 2008.
No, that was 2010. 2010. So 10 years ago. So that's, a lot of story crammed into just a few minutes. Honestly, that's really just a smidget of our story. But we're not going to share the whole story with you today. We're going to do a part 2 to this video and share the rest of it. And honestly, the next video, we're going to get, we had some tragic things happen.
Yeah.
And we had some things that took place, that really, were very difficult, very, very difficult, and it was probably one of the most difficult, part of our lives. And so we're gonna save that for the next video, and we're really gonna share how we were able to turn things around and get to where we are today.
And really how you get through these things. So we're living in a year and a time where people have lost jobs, have lost family members, are sick. They're not sure if they're going to have a job tomorrow. So it's really, we're just kind of sharing this to those, to reach out to those that, are going through this currently. Like, the market has shifted, things have changed, and things are uncertain. So I know when we went through that, how it felt and what we went through and how we dealt with it. And so, just want to encourage you guys that we know how that feels.
Very difficult times. So with that being said, guys, this platform for us is about, we want to reach out to people, we want to encourage people, we want to share our story and give you guys a real, raw, and uncut, look into our lives, but also give you the opportunity to reach out to us. If there's any questions that you have or prayer requests, we get people reaching out to us even on Facebook already, asking us questions like, hey, have you ever gone through this? Or how did you overcome this? Or, can you give me some advice on this? That's what this is all about. And so if you have any questions, you can email us at justinandjoyford@gmail.com, or you can comment right here on our YouTube page, or you can go to our Instagram, Justin and Joy Ford, or you can head on over to our Facebook group, which is Justin and Joy Ford, Real, Raw, and Uncut. And guys, feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and we'll answer those questions here on the video.
Yeah, we can do another video, answer questions. We won't give your information; it'll be private, but we can answer those for sure.
Yep. And then also, if there's prayer requests that you may have, because we are believers and we believe in prayer, we believe in faith, we believe in Jesus, and so if there's any time that we can pray for you or encourage you, that's really what we want to do. So with that said, guys, hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate you guys, following us. And again, this channel is all about really being able to share our story, where we are, what we've gone through, what we go through on a daily basis to help encourage and inspire those that are watching. Again, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell, and tune in for our next video where we are going to talk about the most difficult experience and time of our lives and how we got through it and how we got to where we are today. So with that said,
thank you for tuning in and watching, and be ready for the next video.
God bless you guys. Have a good one.